are trying to find the opportunity to scalp the market against the levels that we just give out, or price action opportunities that the market might occur, or the market might give us, I should say. So the combination between the price levels that we give out and the price action opportunities give us setups that we like to trade. And for all those setups, we're always looking for reasons to trade. And the reasons to trade is what we try to teach you in our education course. We have multiple reasons to enter trades, and that's what we are trying to do here. Have reasons to trade. That's the most important thing for us. More reasons you have to trade in any given setup, the more confidence you have in taking the setup, which is what we're trying to do here, giving you confidence in trading. So if we can repeat the levels again, if you missed the levels, or if you didn't write them down, if you look at the chat box area, you'll see them, that they're in there. And again, those are opportunities to trade. Now, those are just a guidepost for the day. Doesn't mean we have to use every one of them. Doesn't mean we don't adjust them. Doesn't mean we don't add to them, subtract from them. They're just a guide for the day, and then we kind of go from there. So just because we have support and resistance areas, but it all depends on how the market reacts at certain areas, and that's the price action part of what we try to do here. And after you get that determination of how the price action is reacting to certain levels, then you can make a determination whether you want to keep using that level or not. So, and everybody's got different risk tolerances. You know, I say it all the time because it's true. Some people will take the trade, some people won't. So next support level on the downside, it's kind of floating around our pivot here. Support level on the downside we have is down at 88. And kind of in the middle here, we kind of hang, and we'll see what happens, right? I mean, the most important thing is to be patient, wait for an opportunity to trade. I think we've seen how that's important. Again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. We trade mini S&Ps here, trying to scalp the market. And we're always dependent on volatility. Obviously, we need volatility for us to trade any market. And we're kind of a little range bound here, as you can see, over the last few hours. So we have to keep that in mind if we're trading. All right. And enthusiasm for stocks can't be higher, with individual investors holding more equities than ever before, fueled by the blowout earnings season, the prospects of economic recovery, and this extra savings like stimulus checks. Stockholders among U.S. households even rose to 41% of their total financial assets in April. the highest level ever, according to data from J.P. Morgan and the Federal Reserve. That kind of optimism has led the S&Ps to hit 25 records this year alone, while logging in third straight month of gains in April by adding more than 5% to the index. Selling in May and go away, that used to be like the motto. You sell it in May and come back and cover it like a couple months later. Investment strategy posted that equities tend to underperform in the 6 months from now through October, so investors could have convert to cash at the start of May and then buy back at the dips later in the fall. With stocks at record high, some investors may be tempted to follow that old adage. UBS wrote in a research note, in the United States, a stay invested strategy has tended to outperform, particularly in recent years. Market composition with the U.S. market more tilted towards growth stocks partly explains the outperformance. That is true, by the way. So, they used to say, sell in May and go away, buy back in October, or whenever there's a dip in the market, because it gets really slow in the summer months. You think this is slow now, wait till the summer months. But we are, again, data dependent and volatility dependent, and so consequently we have to, patience is important here to give us our opportunities to trade. If I scroll back the last few days, I mentioned this on Friday, you can see we've been kind of sidewinding here for the last week or so. Once we've gotten to these new levels, market has very, very been quietly trying to figure out which way it wants to go. It's come up here to the 42 handle and kind of just drifting around it. Got up, trades a little bit above it, trades a little bit below it, comes back to 41.80-90 area and kind of hangs out. So it's kind of, if you look at it from a longer perspective, maybe take a look at a daily, it's maybe flagging a little bit, maybe, right? Maybe for a next leg up, who knows? I don't know. I have no idea which way the market's going to go. All I want is opportunity to trade. So that's what we're trying to do here. And we use our levels. Those are one tool, and the other tool we have is price action opportunities. And together, we put together a trading methodology encompasses those two instruments for us to, concepts for us to trade. If you look at the chat box area, we're going to have, those of you who have come in a little bit late, we're going to have our levels printed in there. So you can use those as a guide to the day. And then, like I said earlier, and I say many times over, they're just a guide. And there's nothing etched in stone here. You can add to them, subtract from them, adjust them. They all, So trading's all about, you have the choice to trade and not to trade. It depends on your risk tolerance more than anything else. Let's see if there's any numbers coming out this morning, being the first Monday of the month. We do have ISM manufacturing coming out here at 9 o'clock and construction spending. And then at 8:45 in about 7 minutes, we have PMI manufacturing index. Not the biggest market mover, but I'll just say it's in case something happens. PMI is coming out. Purchase Manager Index. Excuse me. And then at 1:10, Fed speak, 1:10, to give you a precise time today. So ISM my manufacturing could be a little bit of a market mover, and that's coming out here at the top of the hour. And a little smaller number coming out here in about 6 minutes now. So be a little bit mindful of that. If you're trading, we don't like to trade when there's numbers. Kind of like to stand a sideline and kind of let the number do its thing or not. And then we can always trade the after effect from whatever fallout that comes from that in that market. All right. So as you can tell, it's kind of drifting around here, trying to find what it wants to do next. We're traders. We have to expect volatility when it happens, and then trade around it, and then expect lack of volatility when that happens, and trade around that. So, it is what it is, and we have to just be patient and wait for the opportunities to present themselves. VIX is a whopping 18.5. Ooh. Hovering 17 handle, well, maybe tweaked down to 16 once. Now it's at 18 and a half. Definitely lowish on the lowish end. We as traders like to trade, like to have the VIX in the mid 20s. I mean, at some point it was the mid teens, but we've been spoiled lately. So we're hoping maybe we can get to the mid teens, or mid 20s, I should say. That's when we like it. And the VIX goes up when the markets go down. Volatility is pumped into the market every time that happens. So that's usually what the case is. The manufacturing PMI, and ISM manufacturing data for the April will be released this morning, shedding light on the economic situation. Before Friday's big non-farm payrolls report, investors will also be watching the next batch of corporate earnings, including first quarter results from enterprise product partners, or never heard of them. They got 4 companies here I never heard of. Okay. All right, there you go. So we got a little number coming out here in about 3 minutes. The market drifting back here to the pivot area. A high-profile legal battle set to begin today between Apple and Fortnite creator Epic Games will determine how the market shall be classified in digital age. It is one of the biggest cases brought against Apple since the company was founded in 1976, and the consequences could be huge. A verdict could see developers no longer having to do app checkouts with Apple or having to pay a 30% app tax to the tech giant, which would dent a fast-growing service business segment. The backdrop to this legal fight started last year when Epic created its own down payment method within Fortnite. Cumulatively, fees paid from the App Store purchases. Apple then issued a warning to Epic regarding the workaround, but the latter refused to remove it, and Apple kicked the developer off its platform. A lawsuit then emerged, which is finally seeing it stay in court. Executives testifying at the trial will include Epic CEO, Apple CEO, though neither side wants a jury trial, leaving the decision to a U.S. District Judge, Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers. The Epic argument over 1 billion users across the globe. The iPhone market is itself a market, meaning developers can only reach this massive demographics via the Apple Store. Apple is essentially forcing them to use its mechanism to have the Apple download and its app payment system to have people pay for purchases. On Apple's defense, the company feels it's built an ecosystem where app developers of all sizes formed multi-million-dollar, even billion-dollar businesses over the past decade. Anyone that doesn't want to pay 30% commission is asking for a free ride in a market it created, which it updates and maintains by new features and security details. Apple seems to have an edge in the legal precedent, but the tech giant ended the week with an antitrust warning from the EU, which said Apple abused its dominant position for distribution of music streaming apps through the App Store. That decision, which followed a complaint from Spotify, was preliminarily, and Apple will have time to respond. But if the findings hold at the final decision, Apple could face a fine of up to 10% of its annual revenue and be forced to make changes to its App Store and business model. And they got to keep fighting those boys. Take a bite of that apple for sure. That's what everybody wants. All right, we are range bound. The number's out. Like I said, it's not really a big number. It's kind of hanging right around our pivot area here. Kind of going nowhere fast. Patience is important. All right, we are drifting off of our pivot play here. If you're pivot players, maybe you took that opportunity. If you were a little bit bored and wanted to trade, there was a possible trade for you. But it was on the heels of a number, so it was a little tough to justify. But maybe some of you who are taking a little bit more risk did jump in. Ethereum steals the limelight, continuing to set fresh record high. Ether climbed over 3,000 on Sunday for the first time in history and was last changing hands at $30,097, up 6% the last 24 hours. Only a year ago, it traded around $200, an increase of 1,359%. And this year alone, the crypto is up 310%, adding to the gains. Ether surged 25% last week. How do you, what is this? It's like, what is going on with that stuff? Everybody's jumping on board, right? I mean, it's all they're doing is jumping on board. Let's see. So they had Berkshire Hathaway had their annual meeting, and they were talking about Bitcoin. And I think most of older people who don't understand, right, are probably not part of it, or I don't understand it, and I don't understand the enthusiasm behind it. Besides the fact that it's, I don't know. What can I tell you? Anyway, so some of their logic is, one of them said in their meeting, it's like a fee-driven buying. In other words, they're not buying it because it's a good investment. They're buying it because the advisor set a fee. And of course, the more you get, the stellar your civilization is getting. And then they said, and I hate Bitcoin 6 cents. I don't welcome currency that's so useful to kidnappers and extortionists and so forth. So I think I should say modestly that I think the whole development is disgusting and contrary to the interest of civilization. Okay. Interest of civilization. That's taking it to another level. But hey, like I said, I don't know what the logic is. I don't understand it. So I can't tell you one way or the other, but it is kind of a little weird. I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, what is it based on? Why is it trading that way? I mean, there's a whole bunch of questions there. And they're tough. It's tough to answer that question. I mean, buying an asset that has no meaning. So, my market coming up here to our even area. Quickly rotating from those lows down there. Coming up here now, going to test our even area. Again, just keep your stops in no matter what. Can the person stay anonymous with a Bitcoin account? Well, I mean, I think so. I mean, you just buy Bitcoin and transfer it, right? I mean, there's nobody is telling you have to. It's just like cash, right? You know, why do why do people have cash and how do they trade it? Cash is untraceable. Bitcoin is the same. Right? I mean, that's how I see it. But Bitcoin is a lot easier to handle than a whole bunch of cash, right? Bitcoin is just a thing on your computer. So, you get cash, obviously $1 million worth of cash. It's a lot of paper and bulky. But Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's it's nothing. So, yeah, that is that's that story. I think I don't know. All right, getting a nice rotation here against our 42 even area. Hopefully, some of you might have taken that trade, got involved. Get a nice little 2-point rotation here. No, it's a couple minutes. That's all it took, so it's no big deal. You see, it did get in. It gave you a chance there because it actually went up to 42 and change. So you were able to get in at 42 even if you just traded that level. Nice little trade there for you. And the market kind of slowly drifting down here. If you still have any contracts left, to cover them around the pivot area, and it'd be a nice little trade. And this is how you can take a little bit more than 2 points. We say we need 2 to 3 points with our stops and our targets, but also if you get in with the proper entry point, you could probably manage to take a little bit more than 2 or 3 points on the trade. So nice little rotation there against our 42. Again, we're just trying to scalp the market using the levels that we gave out this morning. If you look at the chat box area, you'll see the levels that were imprinted. Those are levels that we gave out this morning. And there's a first resistance area there at the 4,200 area and a nice rotation off of it. So nice trade if you did get in. Now we're just kind of hanging up here. Again, manner of being patient. Yeah, that was actually, got a trade off in the first half hour. Again, every day is different. I mean, we could trade. Well, on one day last week we said trade 7 or 8 kind of opportunities, maybe more by 10 o'clock. Today it was only 1 by 4, 9. We never know how busy we're going to be. Right? We just never know, or not. And there's always the or not. But that's fine. I mean, as long as we are patient and wait for the opportunity to trade and then take what the market gives us, that's all we can do, right? And it's just really all we can do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Market come back up here, testing the 42, testing these highs. Support would be back around our pivot there at 96. Next resistance area is all the way up at the 09 area. And support will be back around the 96. All right, so we do have a number coming out here in about 3 minutes now. That might be a little bit of a market mover, so we'll see what happens with that. Can somebody tell me what NFTs are again? Crypto analysts are pointing out broader awareness of Ether's smart contract platform, which are powering the landscape for NFTs, Web 3.0 apps, and decentralized finance. In fact, the amount of capital locked in DeFi's protocol just crossed 68 billion. I mean, these guys are like, it's amazing. I mean, it's just amazing how these guys are trading this stuff. This trades on, I don't know, emotion. I don't know what it trades on. Flipping has also re-entered the crypto conversation, a term that refers to belief that Ether market cap might soon top that of Bitcoin. Many Bitcoin believers maintain that outside the realm of possibility, though daily transaction counts for Ether, blockchain has increased 22% this year. Okay. It's just amazing. I mean, just amazing. While Ether and Bitcoin have not decoupled yet, correlations between the two are shrinking. Ether has quadrupled so far this year, and Bitcoin hasn't even doubled, and the ratio between the currencies climbed to 0.05, the highest level since 2018. I'm lost. Sorry. I'm just lost. I just am. I don't get it. All right. There's a number coming out here momentarily. See what the market would do. Oh, a little bit of a hiccup there. All right, just a little bit of a hiccup. You can see here the ladder ticket's all lightened up, right? There's like nothing in the ladder ticket. It's all very thinned out. A number that actually thinned out the ladder ticket. It's pretty impressive. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. It does happen. Again, it's kind of hard to trade when there's a number coming out. So bonds, look at the bonds woke up. Everybody's happy. A little bit negative number here. That's okay. That's what happens. You know, but we never know which way it's going. Look at bondos, man. They are running away. Look at the bondies. Let's see if that'll put a little downward pressure on these S&Ps. I don't know. You never know. Our support level is down at the 88 area. So be a little bit careful if you don't like to trade when there's a number or reacting to a number. But they really thinned out the platform, right? I've never seen that. It's been a while since I've seen that in the S&P. So a couple of good numbers that came out here. And I guess it's not inflationary. Look what's going on in those bonds. 158 handle. Wow. That's impressive, actually. Bonds, when they make that move, right? I mean, you just can't stop them. A one-way trade there. That's why we don't trade them. At least we get ebbs and flows here in our market, so it's not so bad. But you know, we have to know when there's a number being released, because you do get one-way trade here too. But even with the S&P's one-way trade, you do get volatility. At least when it goes down. A different story when it goes up, right? All right, so we were sitting on the sidelines waiting for the number to be released, and it did. So got a little volatility here, but we didn't, we're not trading when the number's out, so it doesn't matter. And bonds, though, continue to make this little push to the upside. Pretty impressive move there. Again, just the fact that it's light volume, they can push it around a little bit. We have support in the S&Ps down at the 88 area. If the number was bad, why did they rally? Because bad numbers are always good for bonds, because bad numbers tell you that the economy is bad, and so that means they're not going to have to raise interest rates. So it's always the inverse. When there's a good number, that means it's bad for the market, for bonds. They go down because then that means that the economy is revving up too fast. A lot of things are going to happen, that you might have more inflation. And so good numbers are bad for bonds and vice versa. Always works. So when you get a great positive number, and let's say on Friday, let's say the non-farm payrolls number is a blowout to the upside, and it's better than ever before, bonds will break, go down. And that's because they're afraid that people are going back to work. There's going to be inflation, even though it's good for the economy. Even though probably, man, this is why you have inverse trade, because something that's good for the economy should be good for the equity market, but bad for bonds, because then they're afraid that the inflation numbers are going to pick up, and we have a little inflationary issue, and then the Fed's going to have to do something. So it's always well, that's how bonds used to trade. Lately they've been kind of doing their own thing. So but that's a theory behind it. Sometimes that works out. Sometimes that makes sense, I should say. But I've tried to stop making sense of numbers a long time ago. But that's the theory behind it. That's why good numbers are bad and bad numbers are good. So yeah. All right. So we've gotten to just the middle of the range, basically. Again, like I said, we're not trading when there's a number, and we'll always trade the after effect. That's where we're at right now, whatever that may be or may not be. But if you were long up there, I mean, I don't know why you would be, but we were usually flat when the number is released. So that's just a standard here for us. We can always trade any after effect, but definitely bonds are liking what they saw there. That's for sure. Support down at 88. Next resistance level on the upside. Really nothing until 09. I know it seems far away, but we might just be range bound again, like I said, for this whole week. Yeah. So the patience. We had a nice little opportunity there against our first resistance area. If some of you have come in a little late and you want, we've given out some levels that we use as a guide. If you look at the chat box area, they will be right there for you. And those are levels that we give out at the beginning of the day, and we can make adjustments to them. We can subtract from them. We can add to them. We do a whole bunch of stuff to them. It all depends on the what our what the market is telling us and the price action of the day. So every day is different, and we have to accept whatever opportunities we're going to have that day or not, because we never know. And then we again are just patient and waiting for things to kind of happen. That's what we're trying to do here more than anything else. As the market gets rotating back up there, absorbing the number, saying, okay, well, it wasn't that bad. And the bonds, okay, going back up, coming back down here a little. Okay, next level of resistance we have is up at the 09 area. Getting a little choppy. We don't like choppiness. We're just kind of usually staying away. That's why we have support down at 88. And next resistance is up at 09. And in the middle here, kind of let it do its thing, right? It's just what it is. Let it do its thing here in the middle. I mean, if you were a little aggressive, maybe you sold at 42 again, but only if you were a little aggressive, And again, everybody's got different ways of trading, different things to look at. You need to find the opportunities the trades that you can recognize on, for you as an individual trader, not for me or not for somebody else. Everybody has different ways of looking at markets and different beliefs. So we just try to help you, guide you with those beliefs and tell you, what you should be looking for and then how you should react to them when they get there. And then you have to make that determination on your own. All right, we seem to be range bound here a little bit. Pressure is building on U.S. and other Western governments to suspend intellectual property restrictions on COVID-19 vaccines as the explosion of the coronavirus cases rock India and other nations. Some 60 developing countries, led by India and South Africa, are drafting a new proposal to waive the WTO rules known as TRIPS, trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights, which could allow a significant increase in vaccine production worldwide. The new proposal will put to the organization in the next few days would echo an effort back in the 1990s where it lifted patents on AIDS medication. We have to evaluate whether it's more effective to manufacturing here and provide supplies to the world, or the IP Waiver is an option, said the press secretary. In the case against the suspension, a number of large pharma companies, including vaccine developers Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and AstraZeneca, say waiving the IP rights would solve a supply problem in the short term because the contracts producers lack familiarity with the new technology behind the shots, which isn't shielded by patents. Obstacles to scale up production also include the need to train technicians, source scarce ingredients, and sensitive biological components. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Can we repeat the levels in the chat box, please, one more time? There they are for us. Those are, again, like I said, a guide for the day. We got triggered at our 42 resistance area earlier and made a nice rotation against it. And now we're just kind of range bound, back in the same range we've been at most of the morning. I mean, early morning and now. I guess we're still in the morning, but it's not the early morning because it traded like at 5 o'clock this morning at the same range. So that morning. All right, we've holding our pivot here for the time being. It's basically traded on both sides of our pivot. So again, this is choppy trade. Nothing too good, nothing to get too excited about. Patience is important right now. U.S. economy was resurrected in an extraordinary effective way when the Fed Reserve took action last year in response to pandemic-induced recession. Warren Buffett said during his Berkshire Hathaway virtual annual meeting, the Fed moved with speed and demonstrated that they would do whatever it takes to restore bond market trading, which was frozen early in the pandemic. About 85% of the economy is now running on super high gear. This is what he said. What he said about energy, asked about whether climate change rhetoric has become too irrational regarding investment in fossil fuel companies. Buffett said people on both extremes are a little nuts. I would hate to have all hydrocarbons banned in 3 years. It wouldn't work, but I do think the world is moving away from them too. Buffett still has no compunction in the least about owning Chevron. Okay. Tech, mid-cap tech stock valuations are not crazy, he declared, outlining Berkshire's sale of some Apple shares last year was probably a mistake. And Charles, in his usual way, let me know it was a mistake. Charles Munger is Buffett's 97-year-old business partner. 97 years old. I mean, Buffett's got to be close to 90. These guys are amazing. SPACs, it's a killer, Buffett said. When competition is playing with other people's money, they're going to beat us. We're not going to have much luck as long as this continues. He also likened SPACs craze to gambling. It's shameful what's going on. It's not just stupid, it's shameful. Whoa. SPACs is those companies that instead of going and doing IPOs, special, I don't know, we talked about this before, but it's a way of going around the IPO market. Taxes, Buffett declined to speak about what he feels about the proposed federal tax changes, saying that it's not appropriate to express his views at a Berkshire annual meeting, though he is not worried about the possibility of higher corporate taxes. Buffett also said he voted for Biden in the presidential election. Robinhood, I'm looking forward to reading the IPO perspective. Buffett said it's becoming a very significant part of casino part of the market. There's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing immoral, but I do think that you build a society around it. And then Munger said, calling gamification is deeply wrong. The gamification of the stock market, deeply wrong. And next level on the upside, we have resistance is 09, even though I'm chit-chatting away. The market is basically in a little range still. In crypto, Buffett declined to comment on the Bitcoin, but Munger let her rip. Of course, I hate Bitcoin's success. It's creating financial products out of thin air. I don't welcome currency that is so useful to kidnappers and extortionists. You can't help but do well if you had a diversified group of equities. There's a lot more to picking out stocks than figuring out which industry is going to have a bright future, Buffett said. He then pointed out to the fact that in the 1930s, there were more than 2,000 auto manufacturers in the United States. In 2009, there were 3 left and 2 went bankrupt. That's true. It's true. That is true. 2 went bankrupt and they're still there now. All right, so range bound still. Never know what's going to happen. Next now, patience is important. Next level resistance, like I said, is up at 09. And it's you want to maybe trade our pivot there, but it's going really on both sides of it. It's really it's just not going anywhere. Not going anywhere fast. So the only thing that's coming out that's left is let's peak at 1:00, 1:10 to be exact, Chicago time. All right. Anybody have any questions, comments? Feel free to ask them in the chat box area. We like comments here. All right, again, we are definitely range bound if you traded the 42 area. Not, our favorite, but, again, patience is important. We don't like to trade a range. It's not our favorite, but like I always say, everybody is different up there. You could, none of the other people maybe are into that. I'd like the range game. Bonds on their highs and S&Ps on their highs. So whatever, relationship we were thinking about, inverse trade. All right, range bound it is. Again, we had a nice opportunity there. If you're just trading our levels against the first level of resistance of 42 even, and then we just kind of just go nowhere fast after that. We had to trade a number, and that came out, and it was okay. All right, we are just a little range bound here. Again, maybe going back down to our pivot there. If you are a pivot player, maybe you dipped your toe a little. Maybe you did, and maybe you didn't. It's okay. Patience is important. Finding the trades that you like as a trader is important. Not everybody takes all the trades. You have to be patient and wait for the ones that you can visualize, recognize, and then try to execute on. All those things are part of the trading opportunities that you have here. Sometimes there are plentiful opportunities, and sometimes they are patience is important. We are definitely range bound here. Nice rotation there off of blue band, off of our pivot. Again, if you were a little aggressive, maybe you took it. Everybody's got different risk tolerances. Like I said, you don't have to take them. But we talk about the different opportunities with different trades that we have, the different setups. And then it's up to you as a trader to say whether you want to get involved in those opportunities or not. And everybody has a choice. Bonds making new highs. We are shrugging off the move there and continuing to continue higher on the heels of this number. Love those bonds. Good. For as long as they keep going one way. Again, nice rotation against our blue band, against our pivot there. If you did dip your toe one more time. That trade's been working. It's kind of a range trade. It just happens to be our pivot also. So range trade, pivot, as long as you keep your stop in there. Oh, I'm surprised that they did, because you would think that they, at least for gold, that there's less inflation going on. Fear of inflation's out, so kind of doesn't make sense there. But then again, I try not to make sense of what the market does. This is New America. Okay. So basically, you're not supposed to make sense of anything that's supposed to be sensible. That is a New America for sure. That's right. You lose money making sense. All right, bonds continue to stand their highs, even though they've also lost some of their volatility. And S&P's staying in their range. No range bound trade there in the S&Ps. All right, again, coming up here to the 4,200 level. So again, if you're a range bound trader, you're doing okay. And if you're not, you don't like to trade the range, then just be patient and wait for the market to extend here. Support down at 88, resistance up at 09. So the range game continues here in the S&Ps. All right, things have slowed down here a little bit, a lot, but it's okay. It's Monday, and it's the week of unemployment, right? Unemployment numbers already are coming out again. We always talk. It seems like it's yesterday that we talk about unemployment numbers coming out. Coming out again. All right, if you manage to buy our pivot again, nice rotation there off of it. It's just kind of a low range bound, like I keep saying. All right, all we can do is wait for the opportunities. I keep saying that. All right, finally, market extending here a little bit. See what it wants to do. Kind of doing it on its own. They kind of gave up on trying to hold the pivot there. And we got support down at the 88 area. Again, you've gotten short. I mean, like I said, it's range bound, so it's like you don't know which way it's going to go. It could have rotated to the upside, could have rotated back down. You just never know which way these things are going to extend. So that's why we kind of just wait and then see what happens when we get to a level and then trade the level. That's all we can do. Sometimes the market sets us up so we can either buy a rotation or sell a rotation in a momentum trade. But in this situation, I don't see any opportunity there. All right, be back here in a bit. These your stops no matter what. All right, so we've slowly drifted down here to our 88 level. See what it wants to do down here. Again, keep your stops in no matter what. And see how the market wants to react around an area. And we're trying to get a little rotation here against our 88 area. How long is the room open each day? Well, we focus more on the morning hours, and we start obviously when the market opens up, and we get a nice rotation here against our 88 level. You should have gotten filled down there, and a nice pop up here. Even if you got in our top end, you got a nice rotation here against our level. So again, being patient and waiting for the opportunities helps. And a nice rotation down here to get our 88 filled, and then get a nice rotation off of it. So we start here obviously when the market opens up, and dependent on volatility, we definitely go through the morning hours. We feel that the morning hours do well for us as far as our ebbs and flows are concerned, as far as the market opportunities. The better trade as far as we're concerned, because there's more traders trading at that time, and you get a better edge, I think, against levels, and they trade better during the first couple hours of the day. So we focus more on the first couple hours of the day, and if we're busy, obviously we're going to be staying here a lot longer. I'm always in the back. Most of the time I'm in the background in case something does happen. But the late afternoon trade, especially lately, has gotten very, very slow, monotonous, nothing going on. A lot of traders, especially when you get to the summer months, are going to be trading and in the morning, and then doing whatever they do in the afternoon. So you have to be a little bit mindful of that. But we focus more on the morning hours. We get good ebbs and flows. Then the dynamics of the market are better for us during the morning hours. There's more traders, there's more volatility, there's more volume. And since we are dependent on volume dependent and volatility dependent, that's what we're focused in on. So first 2 to 3 hours in the morning, depending on how busy we are that day. And then sometimes, like I said, we're always around. All right, nice rotation there against our 88 level. Nice little opportunity there for you. All right, we got a little bit of pressure here in the market. Next support level we have is down at the 82 area. To go down quickly, drifted down to our green band there. If you did maybe partake in that little trade, you did okay. Get a quick rotation off of that level. Again, we're trying to find different areas that we can find a reason to trade. Bonds here rotating to the downside. S&Ps also. Next support level on the downside we have is at the 82 level. I mean, there's various news that does come out during the day, right? We're not always privy to it. We can only react, the market reacts to it, and then we can only as traders react to what the market is doing. So, and that's why we have stops, because we're never, we just never know when some volatility or some news item or somebody saying something is going to affect our trade. Well, we did bounce off of our green band there. It held very nicely for you in case you were trading that level. Again, we have multiple reasons to trade across any day. We have put together a trading education course that allows you to find those opportunities. The idea of the course is to be able to find these trades on your own, to understand why they're there, and then to take advantage of them when they present themselves. And that's what we do here on an everyday basis. Resistance now would be around the 95 area. Anything above 99, you want to be out of any shorts. All right, with a little bit of range bound, and it looks like a little bit of a sale there below the 86. Looking down at there for the 82 area, if you're a little aggressive. There's even a little buy there above 93, a little bit of a push up to that 95, 96 area. Again, only if you're a little aggressive. I guess we're going to be doing what the bonds do, right? We go up, they go up, we go up. They go down, we go down. I guess it doesn't matter. Logic doesn't matter anymore. We've definitely come to that conclusion.
Market trying to inch its way down here. Again, if you're gonna sell it through here, look for a little push downside. We're looking to be targeting the 82, or our next support level is 82, depending on how you look at it. All right, we are slowly coming to our end of our morning session here, and market is kind of just fluttering around towards our lows. So we had a nice rotation there against our lower support level. Now the market is trying to push itself lower. We got our target there is down at 82. Next support level is down at 82. Looks, at least for the time being, looks like we're following bonds. So bonds go down, higher interest rates possibly, even though they did hiccup there after that number. So I guess they were just joking. I don't know. All we need is opportunity to trade. That's all we care about. And we've had that, but we've had to be patient. We've had a couple of rotations earlier against our against a rotation off of our pivot area. We've also had a rotation off of our green band there if you were a little aggressive. And there's all types of different trades that we show you. We'd like to teach you that. We do that in our education course. The objective of the course obviously is to make sure you are an independent trader. You can find these opportunities on your own. You'll understand why they're happening, and then you can execute trades independently of myself or anybody else for that matter. So that's what we are trying to do here on an everyday basis. Any of this stuff interests you, or if you'd like to learn more about the education course that we have or anything like that, please feel free to contact us. And but we'll be here in the background in case something happens. But like I said, we're getting to the end of our morning session here, so take a little bit of a break and get back in a bit.
Hey, Janice, thanks for stopping in. We're here starting at 9 a.m. on a daily basis. If you have any questions about Sol Services, just let us know. It's focused on the S&P 500 E-mini for new traders and experienced traders. So pop back in again, and we can set up a time to talk to you personally and privately about your trading. Also take the opportunity to look at our friends and family offer. It's the one that we sent out in chat to everybody. Let me know if you'd like to have us send it out to you again. Hey, Alice C, you back? Let me know in chat, Alice C. Chris G, let me know if you're back. Chris G, use the chat feature to respond. Francis W. Johnny Z, hey Johnny, let us know how you're feeling. Hopefully you feel better after the weekend. Julio, let us know how you're making out. Mauricio, the same. Rich V. Richard S. Use the chat feature to respond. Right now we're coming into the 11:30 hour. You know, this period of time between, let's say, 9:30, 9:25, and 11:30 is really the target area for doing your trades based on Sol's price action trading methodology and his proprietary scalping levels and zones. So if you haven't made or banked your money, we should set up a time to talk personally and privately about where you are in your trading and where you'd like to be. Hey, Chris C, welcome. Hey, Chris C, let us know what you're trading. You know, for those that I sent out the opportunity to sign up for Sol's Friends and Family this morning, if you haven't done it, take the time to do it now. If you need me to send it out to you again, just raise your hand like we did before, and I'll send it out to you directly again. Hey, sound check for you, Chris C. Let us know that you hear my voice and see Sol's charts. Hey, great. Welcome aboard. This service we're focused on looking to develop consistent profitability based on trading the S&P 500 E-mini, based on price action trading tools, proprietary scalping areas or zones. We go through the morning session together, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades would like to be done. I'll send out, Sol has a friends and family thing working. It's really just separates people out. I'll send it out to you so you know what it is. It's nominal. So Johnny Z, let me know if you're back. Francis W, Chris G, Alice C, Richard S, Rich V, excuse me, Mauricio, Julio, Johnny Z, listen, the most important thing is you get well. And then we'll look forward to you coming into Saul's Friends and Family. Just remember the link I send out is the only link that works for the discount. It's usually $379 a month. It's on for $100. How was the morning this morning with Saul? Why don't we start there? How did people do? You know, it's interesting. Saul's trading, so he is at risk. So he's all set and doing what he's doing. Individuals come in here, stick around because they want Saul's proprietary scalping levels. They want his commentary in the morning, you know, based on the trade. And they really like the fact that they're banking their money, start to bank their money on a more consistent basis. And that's what we do every day. So remember, it gets quiet here in the afternoon because we are essentially done for the day as far as trading and banking money. So the start here for those that are part of Saul's Friends and Family and those guests that are coming in, we start at a little after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We get rolling about 9:25. Go through the morning session together until about 11:30, and then we're finished for the day. And I guess the key here is how you can be finished for the day. Hey, Johnny, good job. And go off and do something else now. What's nice about what Saul does is he does the same thing. He could be working with a trader in the background right now. He could be out playing golf, weather permitting. He could be doing a whole host of other things with his family. And that's what trading gives us. It gives us the ability to have freedom to do what you want when it comes to your trading. And your afternoon activity after you've banked your money for the day. So we have access to the trade along, which is priced at the Friends and Family. We have Saul's mentoring and his coursework, which is for those that are part of Saul's Friends and Family to be a part of if they so choose. It's another opportunity. All right, so I'll be in the background. You know what the opportunities are. You know that it's up to you now. And we appreciate what you're coming in here. And if you like what we're doing, tell your friends.